Hello traders, welcome to the last Sunday market breakdown of 2024. I'm glad everyone has made it through and is still within the business. Well, breaking out the year with consistency is one of the biggest things that we all have to get through and achieve. Yeah, so this is the Sunday market breakdown of week 4, and let's get into it. So we're on DXY. On DXY, price is still holding strong with bullish momentum, and we move on to H4. Let me show you what is happening on H4. On H4, you'll be able to see the beautiful price action that's happening. So on H4, we've got the dollar has played the three-touch descending triangle well by reaching the 90% of the structure. And then on H4, price seems to be developing a two-touch structure. So I anticipate once price reaches this level, and then it will then shoot up, reaching towards the value area at the top. And that is my analysis for DXY. Can I move on to the first pair? I've got H4 entries that I'm looking for right here. Hopefully we'll get them. It's going to be a big one once I get them. Okay, on daily time frame, as you can see, price has been committing from the value area at the top, and it is now positioned in an inflation point. Okay, I move on to H4. On H4, price forms a correction through the inflation point, which is this inflation point, and this is the correction. The market is developing a two-touch continuation, which is a 1-2, and I'm looking into an expanding triangle. So how am I looking for an H4 entry? On H4 entry, I'll be looking on the time frame H4, which I'll be looking at 1, 2, and I'll be taking the risk entry on the second touch, but not just taking the risk entry, but also looking at the candlestick closes. So that's how I'll be taking either a pin bar or full retrace, and yeah. So I move on to H1 to see how clear is the continuation, and I'm looking for an expanding triangle which will be sort of like 1, 2, 3, but it's more of like I won't be counting the touches, but it will be an expanding one which has a middle section within. This I did not see. I just see just now. This I did not see. See how helpful Sunday market breakdowns are. Wow, there's a middle section within. Okay, we've got a middle section and a middle section, and then I'll move on H4 entry right here, entry, and yeah. So that's for New Zealand CAD. Okay, move on to the next pair, which is our second pair, which I've got also an H4 entry, which I'm looking for. Okay, we've got price respecting uh, this value area by moving so beautifully impulsively down and passing through the inflation point. And then what does price do? We've got price on the left this side. Price seems to be reaching this value area, which is why I label this as an inflation point. Okay, move on to H4. On H4, prices below an inflation point showing weakness in the price, meaning the bearish sentiment is in long-term position towards the value area, this low value area. On H1, on H1, price could be developing a two-touch, which will be a 1-2, and I'll be looking for an entry. But however, now I'm looking for an H4 two-touch. So if price does develop an entry for H4, I'll be taking the risk entry because this will be more than enough. About 150 pips, that's more than enough for an H4 entry. It could make about how much? Let's see, 29 pips, and then it's more than 3%. So yeah, there's an entry for an H4. Okay, I move on to the third pair. On our third pair, we've got Pound New Zealand. On pound New Zealand, I'll be sticking onto the daily time frame. Okay, on the daily time frame, the market is currently positioning is currently approaching an area of interest with a three touch ascending channel, which is 1, 2, and 3. Confirmation on the third touch is what I'm looking for, and a good sequence as I move on to H4, H1, and M15. Okay, we've got this area of interest at the top. So if price does not reject and respect this third touch and this area of interest, it will most likely be shooting towards this area. But in for and foremost, what I believe is price, if it does not respect this point, it is simply reaching out to the top value area. Yeah, it's nothing complicated. It's just the mechanics. Move on to New Zealand Swiss. On New Zealand Swiss, we've got this price action. It begins on H4. Okay, that's what we have on the daily. On the daily, I don't have much to say. But on H4, I've got much to say. On H4, price has been moving bearishly and presenting a respectful price action with forming continuations and building volume to push push price further to the low. It has been building volume to push price further to the low. H4, the market seems to be reaching towards the value area, which is this value area. In my understanding, price is feeling the wick which it had formed, meaning there wasn't solid price left from the low. As you can see, we've got the wick here, and price always feels this wick because the price isn't solid right there. And then on H4, we're still on H4. Current price moment uh, is forming a third touch ascending triangle, which could also retest the previous low and simply shoot down. Okay, what am I looking for in H4? Okay, we could also have a H4 entry right here, but it's not what I'll be looking for because of the ascending triangle is not part of my plan for an H4 entry. So I'm looking for 1, 2, 3 for price to either push up and trigger this low and retest the low and push down, or price just making our three touch, our 1, 2, 3 touch and a retrace candle, and insurance entry will be best. But however, if the retrace candle on the third touch is part of my plan, then I'll be more than happy to take it. Okay, we've got Euro Aussie. On Euro Aussie, this is all we have. I don't have much to say on Euro Aussie. So the market is positioned in an inflation point. If price forms a daily confirmation move of two bearish full candlesticks, I'll be looking for sales. So if price does not reject this point and just creates another bullish candlestick, and then prices move into the top value area. Nothing complicated. It's an inflation point. Price could respect it too by shooting down because it has cleared out this highs. It has taken out this high, taken out the second high, and now we are at an inflation point. But however, it's on high time frame, so this could be so much stronger to move the price to the low. Okay, I move on to pound dollar. On pound dollar, I've got this beautiful structure. Price is positioned in an inflation point and it is consolidating in an inflation point. I move on to H4. On H4, what do I have? Price looks to be developing an expanding triangle with a middle section. So this is what I'm looking into. I'm looking into a 1, 2, and 3. I've got this middle section and I'll be looking to be taking trades after the confirmation on the first confirmation, which will be the retrace candle, and then I'll be looking to take continuations, which is sort of like an insurance entry. That will be my take on pound dollar. Thank you very much, everyone. Have a happy new year. I hope you guys feel blessed, and let us smash 2025.